Brazil is literally crawling with zombies right now. They're popping up everywhere and the body count is already insane. While the government scrambles to react, I'm just sitting here thinking, wait, an actual zombie apocalypse? Seriously? I thought I ended this nightmare when I trashed that Black Panther cult, Jun Su muttered to himself. Did those creeps move their operation to Brazil after failing in Seoul? Their leader is dead, so what gives? She tracked the clues straight to the heart of the outbreak's ground zero. Naturally, I had to ask where is it? She didn't hesitate. Sao Paulo ring a bell? Jun Su nodded. Yeah, I'm catching a flight now to settle this. Sao Paulo, home to the Black Panther's lost divinity and the stomping grounds of that wise god, Poca. He took off with one thought. Those bastards are trying to hijack Poca's divine power. Kim Junu realized their play. They're bringing back the Ghost Legion. Not long after, he touched down in Brazil and stood outside the massive Sao Paulo Cathedral. The cult sparked that soul outbreak just to harvest a mountain of corpses. He knew exactly what they were up to. If the Macumba cult doesn't step in soon, Poca's godhood gets hijacked and the Black Panther rises from the dead. No way I'm letting that saint have her way. Kim Junu charged right into the cathedral. Great to meet you, chieftain, the man chirped. The pleasure's all mine, Swordmaster. Good to see your face again. Word is you visited the Great Gorge recently. My guys over there said they saw you with their own eyes. He laughed. Yeah, I probably should have checked in with the Macumba frontline while I was in the neighborhood. Kim Junu bowed low right then. Sorry, I got held up by some serious business. Forgive the delay. The chieftain just shrugged it off. Don't sweat it, kid. It's fine. We're just doing our jobs as servants of the moon. When things get messy, the Macumba cult sends a god to block those creeps from the other side, just like the Guardians. Then he asked, So what brings a high flyer like you all the way to our neck of the woods? Kim Junu played it cool. I've got something huge to discuss, sir. It's about the Black Panther cult. The chieftain looked totally floored by that. The Black Panther cult? Kim Jun Su didn't blink. He expected that reaction. Those punks have been gunning for Poca forever. Kim Jun Su cut right to the chase. I picked up some intel. I'm betting it's linked to the current zombie mess, he added. I'm certain they're trying to summon the Ghost King here, the chieftain roared. Wait, what? What are you yapping about? A god protects this city. You think some trashy zombies would even dare try something? Kim Junu pulled out his proof. Look at this. It'll show you I'm not just blowing smoke. The man paused. Fine, I'll bite. But I don't just take an outsider's word for it. Kim Jun Su flashed a fake smile. Still, I really hope you'll think it over. He thought, damn, why am I practically begging to save a country I don't even live in? He knew the truth. Their god, Poca, is still a rookie, so they're blind to the danger. He knew he sounded like a total lunatic, but a second later, the chieftain just hung his head and spoke. Sorry, but we aren't messing with anything that might annoy our god. Good luck on your travels. Booted out with a smile, Kim Junu bolted from the hall. He ran his hands through his hair. Well, we're screwed. By sunrise the next day, Kim Junu was still pacing circles, feeling like a total loser. Without help from the Mama Makila order, finding the Ghost King's hideout is going to be impossible. Am I supposed to just wait for more zombies to attack? I've got zero ideas. Suddenly, a voice cut through the air. So, there you are. The saint appeared. Our third run-in, right, Savior? He thought, great. The saint from that old dame's cult. She's the brain behind this whole mess, and she's actually showing her face? Kim Jun Su walked up. Keeping busy? Did we really come all the way to Brazil? She just shrugged. True. I didn't plan on being here either. Then she dropped her voice. And I'm only here because of the guy standing right in front of me. He checked her stats and gritted his teeth. A level 8 saint? No way I can take her. Kim Junu crunched the numbers. Usually I can punch above my weight, but level 8 is a whole different beast entirely. Fat chance, she smirked. Got questions? I bet you've got a million. He didn't even give her the time of day. 0. Move it. Why even bother asking? He figured he'd just dig up the truth on his own anyway. Right as Kim Junu grabbed the car handle, the priestess piped up. Fine, then I'll be the one asking the questions. He spun around, and she was right there, inches from his nose. What Kim Junu saw next was straight out of a nightmare. Savior. The priestess hissed with a look that could kill. You aren't from around here, are you? She kept going. Didn't see this coming. I figured the savior would be an out-of-towner just like myself, hence the ritual. He couldn't help but look skeptical. Wait, you were the one who pulled that stunt? Her voice went ice cold. You didn't know? It was me. I'm the one who dragged you here. I thought I blew the ritual, but it turns out I hit the jackpot beyond my wildest dreams. Kim Junu snapped right back. What kind of garbage are you talking about? The gods told me that if anyone actually pulled off my summoning, they would definitely be dead. The words of Goddess G flashed through his mind. Guess she wasn't the one after all. See, if you rip a soul from another dimension, the summoner's own soul takes a massive, brutal hit. Most likely, the person who called you, my child, has already blinked out of existence. She pointed a finger right at Kim Junu. So here's the real question. What did I give up? He frowned. Could she have traded something else to summon him? If that was it, he didn't want to know. Skeptical, Kim Jun Su asked. Did you use your own future as the bait? The priestess smirked. Classic savior move. You hit the nail on the head. That is right. I trashed my whole future, this very soul included. He raised his voice. You're out of your mind. Doing that means you don't even get to be reborn. She went quiet. If this world is toast, what's the point of reincarnation? She kept going. Instead of rotting through endless rebirths just to be cosmic fertilizer, isn't it better to use this life for something that actually matters? Her face suddenly twisted. And I get to choose when that time is. The priestess gave a wicked grin. So, Savior, stop messing around and hand over your body and soul to the Father. Kim Junu yelled, Why the hell are you taking it this far anyway? The Father can't even be fully brought back anymore. She cut him off. I know. But you have to pivot when things change. A tiny world only deserves a tiny god. Don't you agree? Kim Jun Su scowled at her. You can't mean a sage god, right? The priestess chirped back. Bingo, the Father is coming back as a sage god. He'll be reborn over and over again to keep this world safe. She said that once that happens, every single predicted disaster will just vanish. Her face began to warp as she spoke, showing her true colors. If he steals the fate of an outsider to gain power, the Father will rule everything. She stuck her hand out. Well, come with me and sacrifice that body and soul to save the whole world. She reached for his face, murmuring, Our holy and great Savior. Right before she touched his temple, Kim Jun Su smacked her hand away. He let out a mocking laugh. What? Die to save the world? Please. In this place where he started with nothing, he had finally found people worth fighting for. Sure, Kim Junu would die for them, but not like this. He flipped her the bird and snapped, Get lost. I'm not stupid. There's no way in hell I'm going to be the only one taking the hit here. She gave him a cold, hard smile. How pathetic. You'd toss away the greater good just to save your own neck. Kim Junu shot right back. Yeah? So what if I would? To me, a world ending in disaster or one turned into a cosmic human farm. They are both the exact same nightmare. The priestess sighed. What a crying shame. If you still had your original memories instead of these new ones, maybe we could have actually understood each other. Kim Jun Su's eyes narrowed. What original memories? She didn't say a word before vanishing. Well then, see you around. Later, he yelled. Hey, hold on a sec. Before she dipped, she added, May the Father's full blessing rain down on the Savior. Kim Jun Su stood there fuming. What the hell was that crazy priestess even talking about? Right as she vanished, an alarm bell started screaming. A direct order blasted out from inside the Great Holy Hall. Emergency! All units, gear up to protect Lord Pak. He grabbed a nearby guard. Hey, what's the deal? The guard scowled. You're a civilian? Get out of here now. Then he quickly broke it down. Zombie soldiers are hitting the town. Kim Junu knew immediately. It's the Ghost King. He's finally out in the open. Right now, the Ghost King was still under level 9. That meant Kim Junu walked straight into him after just a few steps. The Ghost King whispered, So, it is you. The guy the Black Panther mentioned. He grinned. This is perfect. Once I rebuild your body and devour that soul, my power will finally return. Hearing that, Kim Junu was seriously ticked off. You for real? Do I look like a total pushover? The Ghost King just shot him a look of pure contempt. Give up now, and I will skip the soul torture. Without missing a beat, Kim Junu charged forward with an airstrike. Come on, try me. He started shifting using the power of the giants. The king just casually swung his blade at him like it was nothing. Kim Junu tried to figure it out. The Ghost King is a triple threat, part warrior, part mage, and part priest all at once. Junu guessed that even without full power, this guy was still sitting at roughly level 7.5. With that in mind, he triggered 3 traits simultaneously: giant strength, diamond body, and total invincibility. Junu realized even Bill, one of the elite key 3, could not touch this guy in a physical fight. Time for that old tiger power? Junu suddenly flashed back to the moment D handed over the strength trait to him. I am giving you everything the Eastern Army and I own. Junu shook off the thought immediately. No, it is way too risky to use something half-baked that I have not even mastered yet. Time to get serious. He activated his Holy Power equipment trait, Holy Light, Aura, Healing Hand, Miraculous Magic, and the Halo. His survival traits included Jir's Healing Hand, Key's Miraculous Magic, and the Halo. Junu knew this was the ultimate counter against the undead. I will crush the power of death using divine force. Immediately, he triggered the ordained Holy Knight trait without a second thought. Junu opened up with a massive barrage, making the Phantom King shout, "Impressive." He fired back a counterattack instantly. The Phantom King kept talking while fighting. Truly, very impressive work. Junu ignored the talk and kept the pressure high. Suddenly, the king laughed. All of this is totally meaningless against me. Activating debuff effect. Your equipped traits are being deleted. Holy power is gone. Holy light is gone. Aura is gone. Healing hand is gone. Miraculous magic is also gone. Junu realized what was happening. This is the Phantom King's unique ability, Heaven's Subversion. As he processed that, a small smirk played on his lips. No sweat. Junu watched closely. If he is using this move, it means my holy power already did some real damage, he whispered. Good. The setup is done. Time for the next traits. Junu loaded up Giant Strength, Spirit Sorcery, Battle Instinct, Ordained Holy Knight, and Resonating Lightning Strike. The Phantom King suddenly felt something was off. You, omnipotent one, he roared out. You are actually worthy of being my prey. Then the Phantom King started his summons. Lend me your names. His voice echoed everywhere. Black Panther, hear my command. Meanwhile, Junu swapped in new traits. Magic Resistance, Invincibility, Diamond Body, and Immortality. Ordained Holy Knight Massacre. He thought to himself, a massive grand magic spell that sacrifices his whole zombie army. This is going to hurt, but this was the price for taking down the Phantom King. Looking around, he felt the clock ticking. If I do not wipe these zombies now, he will just resurrect them all. I am so done with this revival crap. Chasing the purple light through the dark, Junu moved in. Phase 1 is finished. I will finish this before Heaven's Subversion comes off cooldown. He focused on his counterattack, triggering the traits he gained from all his near-death experiences. Using Frenzy and Wrath, Junu unleashed a 3-stage Berserker combo, equipping his combat traits. Mars Sword Style, Caller's Sword, Nephilim Sword, 1 versus 10,000, Frenzy and Wrath. He bolted forward with zero fear, taking the fight head-on. Seeing his guts, the Phantom King actually praised him. You really are a trip. Junu laughed coldly. Let us see how long you last, the king replied with total confidence. You do not stand a chance. The Phantom King closed in on him, saying, Once I catch you, there is no escape. Junu suddenly broke the hold, stunning the king. Demon Hand, a control skill that force holds the target firmly. I can tank that with my mana. The Phantom King started getting suspicious, asking a question. How do you know so much about me anyway? Junu gave him a casual answer. Look, when you kill a boss like 100 times in a game, you learn their patterns. He gripped his weapon tight. All right, time to close in with this lightning hammer. Let's see some real damage. Junu rained down a storm of blows on the king. He concentrated his power and threw the king, sending him flying across the battlefield. That strike carved a massive canyon into the dirt. Jun Su checked his hands, thinking, man, this guy is way tougher than I expected. Berserker eye side effects are hitting hard now. That wild mana is finally showing its face. My nerves and veins are basically exploding. Crap. Just gotta hold it together a little bit longer. No way he is quitting. The Phantom King charged up spiritual energy in his chest, growling. Seriously impressive. Real cool, Mr. All-Powerful. But you look like total trash right now. Turns out being perfect carries one hell of a heavy price tag. That power core right in his chest just went absolutely nuclear. He yelled, looks like I am taking a hit too. Jun Su just smirked, thinking, yeah, there it is. The final phase is finally starting. A massive vortex exploded from the king, swallowing everything around him. Watching the chaos, Jun Su analyzed the king's massive area of effect strike. This storm is brutal enough to paralyze anyone and stop their heart in 0.1 seconds. You could actually see the king's heart thumping inside his chest with every beat. Jun Su whispered, thanks for showing me your weak spot. Buffs started popping up as Jun Su focused his energy and charged straight ahead. Active traits, Magic Resistance, Invincibility, Diamond Body, Immortality, Ordained Holy Knight, and Airstrike. He checked his status. Between the Berserk Burnout and the King's nasty debuffs, even with all these traits helping me, my body is finally hitting its absolute limit. White-knuckling his blade, Jun Su made a quiet promise to himself. Time to wrap this up. The Phantom King laughed, screaming, "You idiot! There is no way you can survive this." Then he dropped a lethal wave of soul power that flooded the room. Blocking it, Jun Su thought. Not this move again. Junsi? This. Like this. This literally overflowing with blood. He ground his teeth together, swearing under his breath. Damn, if my buffs drop now, the pain is going to be insane. Under that heavy pressure, Jun Su fought to stay standing. Watching him suffer, the Phantom King gave him a real smug compliment. Honestly impressive. You are the greatest hero I have ever faced, but your little story ends right now. He raised his blade high, unleashing a massive wave of crushing force and roared, "Die!" A long moment later, the entire room was choked with dust and went totally silent. Junu walked out looking fresh, rocking a fur cloak, and said, "You got sloppy, King." Seeing him, the king yelled out, "Is that the golden fleece?" Without saying a word, Jun Su cut the king, sending him flying back. He smirked, "So you recognize high-quality gear? It grants immortality." Jun Su started cycling through a bunch of different specialized gear. Mars style, collar blade, Nephilim sword, spirit sword master, holy knight. The strike pinned the king's sword right into the floor. Taking his shot, Jun Su launched into the air for a surprise strike and yelled, "It is over!" In a flash, Jun Su buried a lethal strike right in the king's chest. That spirit blade ripped right through the Phantom King's heart like it was nothing. Still fighting, he reached out and screamed in pure pain, "I am not dying like this." The king's sharp claws punched right through Jun Su's stomach before he could even blink. Hoisting Jun Su high into the air, he growled, "At least you are coming to hell with me." By now, Jun Su was coughing up a mouthful of blood, swearing at his own stupidity. "I totally blew it. My body is literally breaking. I just couldn't move fast enough." His eyes started getting really heavy. He thought with pure despair, "Is this it? Is the entire world really just fading away from me?" Suddenly, a blinding light cut through the dark. He whispered to himself, "No way, not yet, not done yet." System alert. The cheating death trait cancels one killing blow and fully restores your health. Next day, Junu woke up groggy in a hospital bed. Seeing him stir, someone asked, "Oh, you are finally awake?" Staring out the window, Junsu mumbled, "Where am I? This is the Salu hospital run by the Makil Church." He looked at the patriarch and said, "So that is why you are here." The man replied, "We were terrified. You were out cold for a very long time. I seriously thought the hero, the savior of Sao Paulo, and our holy knight was gone forever." Junsu gave a weak smile and said, "Savior? Come on, you are totally exaggerating." Inside, he was screaming, "Please stop calling me that hero stuff." The chief said, "We brought your busted holy sword here, and our priests were the ones who patched you up." "You feeling okay?" Junsu replied, "Yeah, I am fine, but has anyone seen where my equipment went? We put it in the vault along with all that gear from the Ghost King." A smirk crept across his face as he muttered to himself, "Wait, that Ghost King stuff? Perfect. This is the best time to cash in." Out of nowhere, the Grand Chief bowed his head and said, "We were way out of line before. How did we blow off your warning?" Kim Junu waved him off and said, "Don't sweat it. He just crashed the party earlier than I expected." He kept going. "Even if you guys had tried to prep for this, it had been a total nightmare." He handed over a box and said, "Thanks a ton. It's not much, but take this as a little thank you." Kim Jun-Su popped it open to find 2 vials and yelled, "Elixirs?" Even with the loot, he was still low-key judging them in his heart. "For real? That is it? I literally saved your guys' god, you know." Then the elder pulled out something else and said, "And there's this." After digging through the files, we tracked down the source of the zombie outbreak. Kim Junu took it, looking totally lost. The old man explained, "That's the intel we grabbed after crushing the Black Panther Guild base down in Sao Paulo. Use it or not, I hope this helps you, Holy Sword." Thinking about those Black Panther guys, he started cooking up a theory. If we really smoke the Black Panther Society headquarters, then there's gotta be dirt on the Patriarch Society in here. Kim Junu gripped it tight, almost tearing up from pure joy. Chapter 2. All that misery, pain, and total exhaustion. It's finally, actually over. Suddenly, the Grand Chief asked, "Holy Sword, once you're rested, can we hit the temple again? Someone big wants to meet you." A bit later, he pulled up to the spot to meet this mystery person. When they met, the guy introduced himself. "Nice to meet you. I am Pa, the living god of Brazil." Kim Junu gave a respectful nod and said, "Hey, I'm Kim, a level 7 super soldier." You must have been stressed, Pa said quietly. Yeah, but I'm good now since I basically cheated death. Hearing that, he shouted, Death? Then his voice got real serious. I was supposed to die. Between the Black Panther Society and the people, I was destined to be kidnapped, tortured, and then straight up executed. Kim Junu hesitated and asked, Why are you telling me all this? His heart sank again as he thought. I figured he was way too young to be seeing the future yet. Poco looked at him with sad eyes and said, Even with my powers fading, I could still see glimpses of my future. But fate shifted. He walked over to Jun Su and whispered, The second you drove your blade through the Ghost King's chest, everything changed. Poca and all his soldiers bowed their heads in deep gratitude and said, Holy Knight, the Holy Sword of the East, you didn't just save Sao Paulo, you saved me too. Hearing that, his lips started shaking. Wait, what? Kim Junu said, shocked. I had no idea I just saved a literal god. He thought, games and reality are totally different. Is this the butterfly effect? Poca bowed solemnly and said, I have huge expectations for you. In this world, some people are so ridiculously powerful they can actually change a god's destiny. He reached out a hand toward Kim Junu and added, beings that humans call destiny breakers. Then Poca smiled and whispered, You, as someone from another world, are definitely special even among them. Hearing this, Jun Su was completely stunned. Pulling himself together, he put a hand on his chest and said, Thank you for the shout-out. Poca added, Not just that, from here on out, the Mama Society has your back. Holy Sword. So, as our Holy Knight, I want you to lead our church army as commander. Hearing that, he was totally blown away. For real? Talk about a major glow-up, Kim Junu said, totally hyped. Having all this crazy power with absolutely zero responsibility attached? He thought to himself, Thanks, man, I will watch my back. I know you're giving me this huge job because you trust me. But right now, we have bigger fish to fry. Then Kim Junu spoke up. Pa, I need a favor, Poco chirped back, of course. With a stone-cold look, Kim Junu said, I need the blood of Poca, god of volcanoes, and your brother Yeso, god of wind, to hit level 8. As Poca listened closely, he asked, Can I have your blood? He immediately replied, Totally, be my guest. Cut to this massive open field. Spotting the plane, Kim Junu geeked out. A supersonic jet? He couldn't stop grinning. His jaw literally dropped as he asked, You gave me all that loot, and now this? The Grand Chief just shrugged and said, Those were from me personally. This one is from the whole society. Go ahead and take it. Kim Junu smashed his face against the shiny glass of the jet, whispering, Regular planes cost billions, but a fighter jet? He thought, Man, the Mama Society is straight up loaded. Too hyped to wait, he blasted off into the sky. Looking out the cockpit, he yelled, Holy crap, look how it sparkles. Kim Jun Su's eyes lit up as he cheered, Man, this is literally a dream come true. Eyeballing a switch on the dash, Kim Junu smirked. Let's floor it, shall we? The screen blinked, asking for max speed confirmation. Requesting takeoff clearance? Junu scoffed. You even have to ask? Punch it. We're out of here. The jet tore through the clear sky like a bullet. Junu watched the speedometer climb to impossible heights, his jaw hitting the floor. 5,000 kilometers per hour. This is insane. He grinned, totally satisfied. This beats the hell out of any car. At this pace, I'll be there in seconds. Then the computer chimed, Where to next, master? Target, North Pole. A map pulsed on the display with a mechanical hum. Positioning locked, coordinates confirmed. Heading for the Arctic. Junu muttered. Finally, I've got the evidence and the squad I need. Determination burned in his eyes. It was time for the final prep before taking on the Saints. Thinking of that massive bird from the other side got Junu hyped. It's finally time to hunt down those otherworldly freak shows. Soaring over the frozen wastes, Junu hummed a tune. Even a massive blizzard can't stop this ride. I'm literally unstoppable. He kicked his feet up. This is the life, but I still gotta grind to hit level 8. Replaying his old fights in his head, Junu whispered, Chapter 2 is officially history. But when he saw the Saints' creepy grins in his mind, he hardened his resolve. One more chapter to finish them. Visualizing the carnage, Junu muttered, My showdown with the Patriarch Society is coming up fast. A sharp glint hit his eyes. I've got my team, he thought, but beating her? That's still a huge maybe. I need more power. He remembered how easy hitting level 7 was back when he had the energy core from the Child of the Stars. There was a time he threw his iPad and just lost it. Honestly, level 9 is a joke. This trash game, I swear, free-to-play titles aren't even real games. He knew level 8 would take insane luck and a massive grind. A shady, cunning look crept over his face. But come on, look at me. I've grinded this dozens of times. Every single move is already calculated. After a long haul, he finally reached the Mystic Castle. The first path was right in front of him. The second Junu stepped inside, he was blocked. A stone-faced girl, leader of the Solaria Guard, stepped out to grill him. "Warrior from far away," she demanded. "What the hell are you doing here?" Checking out Solaria, Junu realized she was a winter spirit, just a guard leader now, but she'll be the SSR queen later. He smirked and replied, "I'm just here to hunt, and I need some backup." She blinked. "Hunt? You're kidding, right? Something you can't kill alone?" Junu didn't miss a beat. "You have no idea." Picturing that giant bird, Solaria looked worried. The ruler of the North Pole? That massive freak? The Arctic Emperor? Then she snapped at him. "Do you even realize why they call it that? Our whole legion was frozen solid by its power," she warned. "This isn't just some casual hunt, kid." Junu kept his cool. "Obviously. In the game, it's a level 9 boss, so it's clearly a beast." Thinking of the Emperor's eyes, he muttered confidently, "Too bad for him, it's only level 8 right now." Junu spoke up. "Exactly. That's why I'm teaming up with you." Solaria nearly jumped out of her skin, eyes wide. A shady glint flashed in his eyes. "With an ally like her, I've actually got a shot at this." Then he said it. "I'm going to save the Dragon Legion." He knew this was an offer she couldn't possibly turn down. He remembered her brother's face from the game's lore. The Dragon Legion commander, captured by the Emperor, was definitely her brother. Solaria asked, trembling with doubt. "Can you really pull that off? The beast is right there. The Arctic Emperor is literally right there. How is this possible?" Junu paused for a second. In the original game, they weren't freed until much later. He reached into his pouch and pulled something out. That beast had a massive appetite, so Junu knew exactly how to wake everyone up ahead of schedule. Flashing a syringe, he lowered his voice. "I'm using this as bait to knock the Emperor out, even if it's just for a minute. I'm going to load this with a top-tier tranquilizer." Shocked, she gasped. "Where did you get that?" Junu explained. "I managed to get this while hunting in Greece." He had taken down a dragon just in time back then. The others were a gold dragon and an undead dragon from the Great Rift. Solaria whispered, "The light of life and death, and the darkness. This is actually enough. Check it, here is the plan. I am taking down that Arctic Emperor with help from the Dragon Masters." She looked totally stressed and said, "Look, that Emperor already smoked the whole Dragon Legion and took them all captive. Even for a pro, that is suicide." Kim Junu scoped the situation and sighed, "Yeah, you are totally right about that. That Arctic Emperor is basically a nightmare for every dragon out there." That Emperor's vibe was pure ice, forcing him to watch for its secret move, that Arctic wind it spams when cornered. It is a broken skill that freezes everything around and lets the monster heal its own wounds. That is our opening, Kim Junu thought, just like the Phantom King fight. He told Korea, "Hey, do not worry. Once that Arctic wind kicks in," he said, looking at the ice, "that is when the big boss shows its weakness." Right then, the Arctic Emperor was just chilling, catching some Z's on a glacier. Watching it, he whispered, "Is that thing out cold?" Carrieria said, "No, it is just sunbathing. If we get closer, we are busted." Hearing that, Kim Junu felt a little salty and thought to himself, "Kicking back and sunbathing must be nice." Then he threw on his stealth cloak and said, "All right, I am going in." He crept up, planning to stack the stealth from his cloak with his high-level theft attribute skills. Kim Junu dropped his gear and grabbed the item, thinking, "My mana is totally hidden, so it will not sense me." Suddenly, a nearby dragon head made a massive noise, making him jump, his eyes going wide with pure shock. The Arctic Emperor snapped awake. As it looked around, Kim Junu hit the play dead skill, screaming internally, "Holy crap." He lay there shaking while he tried to figure things out. This play dead trick drops all aggro, so I should be safe. Man, no wonder they say these crazy monsters are a total pain. Suddenly, it opened its mouth and started eating the food that just appeared out of nowhere. Seeing this, Kim Junu muttered, "What a bird brain." It should have been suspicious of random food popping up, but here it is, chowing down like there is no tomorrow. It probably has not tasted fresh dragon meat in several decades. Right after that, a dark aura spread out, swallowing everything. The Arctic Emperor started falling right out of the sky. Kim Junu smirked and said, "Total success. I wish killing bosses was always this easy." Then he shouted to Korea, "All right, you can come over here now." She ran up and yelled out for her brother, but Kim Junu stopped her. "Wait, I am gonna wake them up." He used his high-level hellfire skill, making his hand explode into magic flames. The heat started melting the giant ice blocks. Just then, Celeria's brother sat up, grabbing his head. He asked, "What? What happened here?" She ran over to him, shouting, "Brother!" When he saw Corellia, he cried out her name and gently reached out his hand. They shared a big hug after being apart so long. Watching them, Kim Junu thought, he is finally awake now. The commander of the Dragon Legion. Looking at the other dragons, he started cooking up a new plan. Let us fight the Arctic Emperor with these dragons. Jumping on a dragon, Korea's brother said. Korea told me everything. Thank you. Kim Junu cut him off. We can do intros later. That Arctic Emperor is about to wake up. Her brother hopped down and said, Wait, there are still some dragons that have not woken up. Looking at a dragon still trapped in ice, Kim Junu shouted in surprise. Wow, there are actually more. The Dragon King, the Crimson King, is in there. Kim Junu was shocked. A fire dragon in the Arctic? Carrieria said, This ice is way harder than normal, her brother added. Looks like the Emperor used that special sealing ice. Sword Saint, you got away? Kim Junu cracked a sneaky smile and said, We have got to wake it up. Whatever it takes. He had a secret plan. If I can tame this dragon, I will have my own mount. He walked up to the ice, looked back at them for a second, and then finally started to speak. I can only jumpstart its power. Kim Junu blasted the ice with a massive wave of fire and said, The rest is on the dragon. Korea shouted from behind him, No, it is not melting at all. While Kim Junu poured his power into breaking the ice, he thought, This stuff is packed with mana. In that case, awaken. The dragon eyes snapped open and it said, Human. Seeing this, the soldier started to whisper to himself, Did he just use the dragon tongue? How can a warrior speak our language? The dragon was totally confused. Without a high rank, even dragons cannot use that tongue. What a weird human. Suddenly, the ground shook, making her brother stumble. Tracking the Arctic Emperor as it circled the sky like a shark, the crowd lost it. Yo, the Emperor is awake. Karya barked. Dragon Legion, move it, look alive. We gotta stop those ice spears. Right then, a massive wave of arrows shot toward the beast. Down on the ground, Jun Su stood before the Crimson King. No time for small talk, lizard. While the ice bird caused chaos above, things were getting real interesting down in the pit. He calmly made his offer to the fire dragon. We are about to hunt the thing that froze you. You want in? Hearing this, its mouth let out a low growl. I owe you one, human. Suddenly, the Crimson King let loose flames that turned everything to liquid. Deal, the beast rumbled. Even the Arctic Emperor flinched when he saw that massive heat wave. The Crimson King charged up a fire blast and roared, I will melt it all. Then, pure fire. Watching the fireworks, Kim Junu smirked. Now that is some god-tier power. Exactly what I wanted. You might wonder how a beast this scary lost to an ice bird in the first place. Well, the Crimson King has some issues. Then, the sound of breaking ice caught his attention. The dragon was literally sobbing because of some tiny ice shards. Owie, it hurts. Junu just facepalmed. Man, this legendary dragon is a total joke. Suddenly, the Arctic Emperor let out a deafening screech. Celeria's brother was freaking out. Sword Saint, you gotta do something before we all freeze. Tossing a snack to the dragon, he played it cool. If I am using this guy, he needs to like me. Big or small, everyone wants treats. He yelled, heads up. The dragon caught the meat and cheered. This stuff is fire, Junu asked. Oh, so you really like the premium snacks, do you? The Crimson King wagged his tail like a puppy. More meat. I need more. Junu said, Fine, but help me first. While Junu was negotiating for snacks, the Arctic Emperor was locking onto his position from above. It did not wait. The bird dove like a missile, smashing into the ground in a cloud of wreckage. When the smoke cleared, there was nothing but a crater. Junu was already high above, mocking him. The dragon glared right back into the Emperor's murderous eyes and let out a massive roar. Time for a little payback. Junu flicked a switch and activated his Dragon Knight attribute. He yelled, Dragon Knights, light him up. Every single knight unleashed their ultimate skills at once. The Emperor was fast, dodging like a pro, then popped an ice shield to tank the rest. A soldier screamed, Are you kidding? He is too strong. Right then, Junu flew the Red King in. The dragon started shaking like a leaf. He is too scary. I cannot do this. Junu kept him steady. Chill out, man. I will get you a mountain of meat for this. Motivated by the munchies, the Red King scorched the sky. Meat, Junu cheered. Now that is a fire blast. But the counterattack was already coming. Sharp ice spikes were flying straight at their heads. Junu saw the stats: electric force and high-tier ice magic. The dragon panicked, but Junu stayed frosty. An ice shard zipped past, cutting his cheek and drawing a line of red blood. He thought, with my current level, is blocking all this junk really going to be that hard? Junu triggered his fortification buff, popping a massive barrier and a heavy shield. He yelled, "Let's go!" Then he stacked his buffs. The other knights got covered by the Mad God's strongest defensive shield. He finally gave the signal. Dragon Legion, move out and take him down. A wall of attacks slammed into the Emperor. He shrieked in agony but stayed in the fight. The bird started charging its ultimate move. The soldiers lost their minds. That is White Spirit Ice. What now? We are going to be popsicles again. Solaria's brother tried to keep them together. Everyone shut up and focus. This is not like before. We have to trust that guy. Meanwhile, Junu was feeling the heavy pressure rolling off the Arctic Emperor like a freight train. He crunched the numbers. White Spirit Ice is his best move. If I survive this, we win. Junu used his goddess-given earth powers to analyze the incoming disaster. Mixing his gear and skills, he prepped the ultimate defense. What is this crazy light coming at us? Kim Junu didn't hesitate, slamming the earth attribute on the Dragon Knights until light totally wrapped them up. Sileria freaked out, yelling, "That Arctic Emperor guy? He can't touch us now." All the Dragon Knights charged straight for the Arctic Emperor. Solaria's brother watched the scene, thinking, "This is how it's supposed to be, right? Time to roast some bird meat." Kim Junu cracked his knuckles with a smirk. "Fine then. I'm using the Dragon Knight attribute to summon the Red Dragon's will right now." He reached out his hand and muttered, "I'm calling on the Dragon Knight power to channel that red dragon fire." He squeezed his eyes shut, then snapped them open as wild flames exploded around him. Transcendent flame! He blasted that massive flame toward the Arctic Emperor like a freaking sonic wave. Kim Junu felt power surging inside him like somebody just dumped high-octane gas on a bonfire. He screamed, "I'm gonna burn you to ash," then slammed the fire into the king's gut, making him howl in agony. Inside a massive chunk of ice, this weird glowing ball started flickering. Finally, I can see the core of the Arctic King hidden inside the storm. Kim Junu focused his power and launched a massive, high-speed tactical missile. It flew at top speed. A huge boom echoed the second that missile slammed the Arctic Emperor. Ice started falling everywhere and the sky cleared up. Solaria screamed at the top of her lungs, "He killed it!" She looked up in total shock and whispered, "We actually did it. We killed the Arctic ruler." The knights were cheering, "We're free!" Up high, Kim Junu waved from the back of the Red King. Everyone was shouting, "Hero Kim saved us! The castle's safe!" Solaria looked at him and said, "Thank you so much, swordsman. We owe you everything. I have no idea how we'll pay you back." He just smiled. "No big deal. I had my own reasons for being here." In his head, he thought about the monster Manicore. Kim Junu pulled up his system window to check the new attribute he just earned from the White Ice Arctic King's unique ice power. Then, Kim Junu turned to go and said, "Job's done. I'm out of here." But Solaria stopped him and said, "Wait up. The dragons don't want you to leave yet. Is there anything you need?" she asked. Then he had an idea. "In that case, back me up in the next fight." Solaria looked confused. "A battle? Against the Saints?" Kim Junu explained everything. "I've got a mortal enemy. If you guys could help me take him down, I'd really appreciate it." Carrieria nodded and said, "Sure, we'd love to help out." Suddenly, the Red King's voice boomed, "Hey, human." Kim Junu turned around and asked, "You're awake? How are you feeling, buddy?" Then the Red King started whining for some more meat again. He kept yelling, "Meat! Give me meat!" Kim Junu laughed. "I think I've still got some in my bag." A light bulb went off. He thought, "Wait, I could use him as a mount." So Kim Junu made an offer. "If you want food, come with me and I'll feed you till you pop." The Red King gasped. "Really? For real? Then I'm in." "I love meat," he shouted. Kim Junu asked the others, "Can I take the Red Dragon along?" Silaria's brother told him, "We don't control dragons. They go wherever they want to go. If the Red King wants to follow you, he has our blessing." Hearing that, the dragon was totally hyped, grinning from ear to ear. So he pulled a huge slab of meat out and said, "All right then, partner." He patted the dragon's head while feeding it and said, "Let's roll." Silaria watched them leave and whispered, "He's actually taking him." She asked her brother, "You don't think he's just tricking that dragon with snacks, do you?" He replied, "Even if he's a bit out of it, he's still the king of every dragon." He added, "The Red King probably sensed his power." Meanwhile, the dragon kept chanting, "Meat, meat." Her brother's voice echoed, the man who could become the true leader of the Dragon Legion. Cut to nighttime in southern Egypt. Someone screamed, "What the hell is that?" People looked up at the Red King and started freaking out in terror. "It's a monster." Jun Su looked down and muttered, "Guess everyone is losing their minds. Where am I going to hide this big guy?" Suddenly the system flashed. "Warning! Warning! A mana fog is coming. This is a magic sensor nullification zone. It is highly recommended that you turn back." He just grinned and said, "Finally." Cut to Lake Nasser. Under the lake, these creepy fish monsters looked up with suspicious eyes. This is the river goddess's territory and home to frenzied spirits. The deeper they went, the more the alarms screamed. "Alert! Mana fog incoming. Heads up, we are entering a magic sensor dead zone." Junu kept his cool, whispering about the mana fog rolling through this freezing mist. "My powers are useless here." Checking the map, Junu asked, "Exactly how far does this fog stretch?" The system reported that satellite shots show it covering 10,000 kilometers. He did the math. Sunun is only about 600 kilometers. So this place is basically as big as Gyeonggi province. Massive. The system asked, "What is our next move?" He stayed chill. "Charging in now is suicide. We will gear up here while we are still in government territory." Then Junu barked an order. "Set a course for AD1 City Hall." The system pinged back instantly. "Copy that. Requesting landing clearance from the tower now." The plane started shaking violently in the heavy mist. The weather is totally trashed. No doubt about it, the river goddess is messing with the environment again. A bit later, Junu touched down at the AD1 City Hall in Egypt. Entering the lobby, a booming voice echoed, "Welcome, guardian of the sacred souls, the legendary blade saint of Asia." Junu looked lost and muttered, "Do they really need all this drama? Man, this is awkward. I guess I really am a big deal now." Judging by that eye symbol, this is definitely AD1 Hall and the main base for the Osiris Guild. Look, I told the tower I was landing, but I never expected a red carpet rollout like this. Suddenly, a guy steps up to meet him. "You made it, Sword Saint. Meet the mayor of Adon City and a high-ranking Osiris member." The guy keeps talking. "Welcome to Adoni, Egypt's greatest fortress." Junu keeps his response polite. "Thanks for the warm welcome. You guys must have scrambled to put this together so fast." The mayor acts humble. "It is the least we can do for you, sir. Why not grab a drink and relax for a bit?" The kid cuts him off. "I am on a tight schedule. Let's talk business." The mayor clears his throat and nods. "A holy knight does not just show up for fun, right? I think I know exactly why you are here." He keeps going. "You are here to take out those fish monsters, aren't you?" Hearing that, Junu just lets out a quiet sigh. A picture of the monsters pops up. The mayor explains that after the guild finished building the Aduna Dam, the river's original residents, the ones who used to own this lake, those mermen declared war on us. He chuckles. "Exterminating those things would bring in a massive pile of cash for us. We can harvest their guts to make ingredients for high-end elixirs." The guy is grinning like a creep, but the kid is thinking, this mayor is so freaking transparent. The more he talks, the more he geeks out over his own twisted plan. Now that the Sword Saint, the guy who wrecked the Ghost King, Red King, is here in the flesh, that evil god's mist is finally toast. Junu listens and thinks, they want me to end a war, but I just need some loot. He pictures a stunning river goddess in his head and starts to wonder. There is a level 8 river goddess in that lake. How are we even supposed to handle a monster like that? I will play along for now. Junu scratches his head and acts hesitant. "Fine, I will handle the fish, but I am going to need something first." He asks, "Can you hook me up with a massive supply of that divine elixir?" The mayor beams. "Sure thing, our guild will give it to you totally free." He hands Junu a lantern and tells him to take it. The kid looks at it. "Isn't this some kind of water system artifact?" The mayor nods and says, "Exactly." The mayor explains that as long as you are in the lantern's light, it will clear out all that mist. Thinking about Lake Nasser, Junu grabs the lantern and heads out to the artificial lake sitting right behind the Adone Dam. He mutters that it has to be around here. Staring into the distant forest, the mayor's words keep echoing in his head. Since the river goddess got totally triggered, Egypt and the Osiris Guild marked this a danger zone, only letting holy knights in to hunt down the goddess's watery servants. After scanning the area with the lantern, Junu finally spots those fish things coming up. Bingo, found them. A fish monster locks eyes with him and lets out a nasty growl. The kid just waves his hand. "Chill out, man. I am not here to wreck you. Honestly, they aren't even a threat to people. They just want to protect their territory." Junu imagines what the fish would say. "Scram, kid. If you leave now and don't cause trouble, we might let you live." He says, "Wow, Sounds scary. Then he realizes he can't actually talk to these things using normal words yet. He sparks a flame in his palm and speaks up. Man, check these things out. Seeing the fish monsters snarling, he mutters, they really want me gone. Chill for a second. Kim Junu shapes the fire to spell out hello and whispers, talk time. He waves like a kid and asks, yo, can you guys read? The fish creatures just stare at each other, totally lost. Seeing that gives Kim Jun Su a brilliant idea. These fish dudes have weird mouths compared to humans. Writing might be the only way to actually communicate. Suddenly, the word hi appears on the water surface. He yells out in pure shock. No way they actually answered back. Then, the mermen start laughing. Seeing them vibe, Kim Junu thinks, guess they find this pretty interesting as well. Seriously, this has to be the first time a human hasn't tried to kill them on sight. The system pings. Fish language trait unlocked. He smiles. Sweet. Finally, I can speak their language. A ripped merman stands tall and asks, not terrified of us? Staring at those muscles, the kid just freezes. After a second, Kim Junu smirks. Maybe a little ugly. The merman lets out a roar of laughter. Not bad, kid. You are a weird human. What do you want with us? He shrugs. It is nothing too crazy. Kim Jun Su keeps his cool. I just need a single drop of the goddess's blood. The merman freezes. Come again? What did you say? He doesn't wait. He grabs a spear and lunges, screaming, how dare you even suggest that? The goddess's blood? You are just another trash human. Watching the spear tip fly right at his face, Kim Junu totally gets why they're defensive. Those holy knights are always messing with their nests, but I'm not here for a fight today. With lightning reflexes, he sidesteps the attack while reaching out to grab something. Kim Jun Su snatches the spearhead, holding it in a death grip, and says perfectly calm, just chill and listen for a second. The merman shakes as he tries to push back. How is this kid so strong? While the merman grinds his teeth, Kim Junu explains, look, I did not come here to ask for a favor for free. I am going to help your goddess get her mind back. Staring at the massive wall, the merman remembers. That cursed concrete wall was built by Osiris 100 years ago. How can one tiny human possibly achieve what all of us have failed to do for a century? The boy hesitates. This part is actually a little awkward to admit. Kim Jun Su flexes his arm and jokes, well, my plan is basically to beat her up until she finally comes to her senses. The merman snaps, grabs him by the collar, and yells, are you insane, human? Kim Junu talks fast. Hold on, listen to me carefully. She was born as a river spirit and became a goddess because humans worshipped her, right? He keeps going. So her true nature is a spirit, and we both know that angry spirits often... While the fish look confused, Kim Junu finishes his thought. They only chill out when they are near death. After explaining, he asks, get my logic now? The creature growls in a low voice. Fine. We will trust you. Kim Junu fakes a smile. Good enough for me. Suddenly, without warning, the merman blasts a jet of water into his face. Then, it dives back into the river. Kim Junu wipes his eyes and yells, hey, give a guy some warning before you do that. Dripping wet and annoyed, he mutters to himself, I knew that was coming, but it still sucked more than I thought. He looks at his hands and feels energy radiating from his body. I just got an adaptation trait from the merman tribe. He adjusts his gear and dives straight into the water with them. Now he can breathe underwater, so fighting in the deep won't be a problem at all. Suddenly, his airstrike trait kicks in. He thinks, I do not have a swimming skill, but I never expected airstrike to work down here. After swimming a little way down, the merman turns around. We are here, human. They stop before a massive ancient building. This is the goddess's sacred shrine. Kim Jun Su says, thanks for the ride. Get ready. The merman stops him. Before we go in, promise us one thing. He speaks in a low, serious voice. Commit to saving the goddess. He nods. Duh. As long as you guys cooperate with the plan. Kim Junu pulls out a vial of divine elixir and mutters, I have got plenty of recovery potions on me too. Seeing the elixir swirl into the water, the fish creatures start whispering to each other. That is the divine elixir, the merman thinks. With that, she might actually wake up. Kim Jun Su speaks up. So, we are good to go, right? He ignites a stream of fire in the water. All right, let us do this. Gearing up, Kim Junu rushes straight into the shrine. Suddenly, the ancient writing on the stone tablet starts to glow. Massive whirlpools start gushing out from the shrine. Seeing the chaos, Kim Junu asks, so, you finally showed up? This river goddess pops up looking like a ghostly, ticked-off water spirit out for blood. Her face twists with pure, soulless rage as she whips up a massive water vortex around her. She uses the whirlpool to pull Jun Su under, snarling that he won't escape. Totally caught off guard, he loses his footing and tumbles back into the deep. Out of nowhere, a red blur streaks past. It is Sivong, quickly scooping Kim Junu onto its back. You flash a thumbs up at the Red King and give him some props. Perfect timing, man. The dragon asks if his flying skills were top tier. Kim Junu just grins and says, "You're the goat." Once we finish this, it is an all-you-can-eat steak dinner. Meanwhile, the goddess sends those whirlpools charging. The Red King dodges like a pro. She stays chill though, muttering about Phase 1 and a vortex barrier. Those whirlpools are like snakes under her control, and they are coming straight for Kim Junu. He realizes these things are locking on like homing missiles. No joke, she is actually trying to end him. A massive blast of water slams into the Red King. He takes it right in the chest. This is a total wide-area massacre. The Red King screams, "That hurt. Stay focused, because more of those water blasts are coming." Looking at those swirling currents rushing them like wild beasts, he knows he won't make it unless he dodges every single one. Snapping out of it, Kim Junu fires up his flame technique, and a massive blaze erupts all around him. He thinks, "Crap, if that is how it is, I will just turn all this water into steam." He touches the Red King, activating his Dragon Knight trait and merging with that energy. Suddenly, the dragon's body glows gold like a bonfire. He is surrounded by eternal flames, cranking the power of this fire to the absolute limit. Thanks to that move from Jun Su, even those massive waves just vanish into thin air. He feels like he has made it through the start of Phase 1. Now, the river goddess is looking completely lost. Using his gear, Kim Junu whips out a bazooka and locks onto the target. He gets ready to fire and says, "My turn now." Kim Junu lets a rocket fly at top speed. There is a massive boom that literally shatters the earth and the rocks. Checking out the wreckage, Kim Junu asks the Red King, "So, what did you think of that blast?" I call this the bullet storm. See, when I add an attribute to this gun, the Echo of the Mountain fires energy rounds with that same power. Right then, the river goddess starts turning into a giant ice cube. Kim Jun Su decides to freeze her solid using the Arctic Emperor's Grand Explosion move, a flawless ice crystal. He taps a button in the system, and then Kim Jun Su summons a tiny flame on his fingertip. The flame shoots toward her with a loud bang, but the river goddess doesn't have a scratch on her. He yells out, "Did I miss?" Looking closer, Kim Junu mutters, "I swear I was aiming right for her heart." She is gliding through the water like some creepy ghost now. He figures Phase 2 has officially started. Looking at the situation, Kim Jun Su rethinks things. Taking on a Tier 8 monster like the river goddess is already insane, but fighting her and her summoned spirits at once? That is just ridiculous. Seriously. Suddenly, shadows shoot up from the bottom of the river. It is mermen with weapons, and they are aiming right at the goddess. He is hyped. He thinks, "Sweet, I have actually got mermen on my side who want the same thing." One of them pulls out a glowing mana core. These guys are actually willing to die to win this. Right then, a blinding light bursts from the mana cores. The mermen crush them all at the same time. The river goddess looks stunned and cannot even stand up straight anymore. Kim Junu starts running the numbers. When they smash their own mana cores, which are basically their hearts, she starts melting and screaming in pain. These water spirits are about to be totally stunned. She is out of tricks and illusions now. This is the most important part of the entire fight with her. The goddess looks absolutely furious, and a massive water vortex suddenly lifts her high into the air. The Red King swerves to miss the water column. Kim Junu screams, "Dodge it!" The dragon veers hard to the side to avoid the massive blast. He looks at her and thinks, "Damn." She is thrashing around in total desperation, which means her core is about to be exposed. The whole place is chaos with these currents. He steers the Red King and yells, "Time to end this once and for all." Checking the field, Kim Jun Su realizes he is too small to push through that water column. He grips his sword tighter than ever. Standing in this total chaos, Kim Jun Su muttered, "Time to break this whole thing wide open." It is all about the build, he thought. He stacked 2 swordsman perks as a base, then added 2 mana traits for backup. Me and the Red Dragon? We are the blade now. Jun Su crunched the numbers and raised a massive flaming sword, the final piece of his killer combo clicking into place. Jun Su let loose a brutal wave of pure fire. "Look, I am about to slice right through this soggy storm." The mana core cracked. Trapped in those killer waves, the merman screamed, "Oh goddess, it is finally time to go home." After that total nightmare, the sky finally chilled out. A merman gasped in thanks. Human, you saved our goddess. Guess a washed-up god is still a god, huh? Then Junu spoke up, testing the waters. Yo, what about your memories? You know what went down? Her face twisted in pain as she choked out the words. I remember. The goddess frowned hard and whispered one name like a curse. Osiris. Remembering the past, she just lost it, screaming. The water went wild. That selfish jerk played me, and our whole river paid the price. Her eyes turned blood red as the waves towered over them. She snapped her hand out, barking a powerful order. I am taking Osiris down right now. But first, you need to heal. She settled down, looking unsure. But remembering that massive wall blocking her flow, the goddess found her edge again. Her voice turned sharp. That dam has been choking the life out of my river for way too long. Her face fell, sounding totally crushed. You want me to just sit here and do nothing? Junu looked her in the eye. Listen, I have a plan. She gave him a major side eye and shouted, Wait, you have a plan? He dropped the offer fast. Listen, there is another massive river out there, just as big as the Nile. Why not move? She tapped her chin, whispering to herself as she thought the whole idea over. The idea is fire, but I am not sure we can move that many people at once. Seeing her stress, the logistics, Jun Su smirked. Oh, it is possible. Right then, a freaking giant airship roared into view across the sky. He grinned and pointed. You gonna let me help? She stared at the ship, looking hyped, and shouted with pure excitement. With a ride like that, maybe we can actually pull this off. She turned to Junu and asked point blank, All right, human. What is the catch? What do you want? He already knew the move. He needed those Tier 8 upgrade materials. Knowing he had her, Jun Su said, one drop of your blood. The giant ship just sat there on the blue water as his voice echoed out, dead serious. Plus, you have to stick around and help me on this ship for a while. She looked down, her voice shaking a little. So, you are the one who needs me after all? She did not even wait. Fine, deal. Junu grinned like a boss, thinking to himself, Perfect. Everything is going exactly as planned. Between her and the mermen, I have already crushed my first big goal. Water spirit secured. My alliance is finally complete. The massive golden ship rocked on the waves before lifting straight out of the depths. It blasted off into the sky, zooming over the world far below them. Junu sat in the cockpit looking totally hyped. Man, since this started as a real ship, it is a beast on the water. The massive ship glided right over the endless desert dunes, pushed along by the insane power of the river goddess's current. Once the ship linked with the water spirit, the mana inside literally started changing into physical forms. Basically, the guy just built a river right in the sky. Watching the ship blast through the clouds, Junu thought, At this speed, I will be there before I know it. Somewhere else, the tree god was just vibing with its eyes shut. This was where the final level 8 item was hidden. Suddenly, down in the camp, everyone started losing their minds and screaming, Get back right now! Move it! A white-haired girl ran to the chief, looking scared. Chief, what is happening out there? He was too terrified to talk, his eyes twitching. This is a disaster. It is the skull serpent. The chief finally cracked and screamed in terror. Something huge is coming from the west. The girl just stood there, totally stunned. Something huge? He kept cursing in total despair. Then, Mother's voice crackled over the radio with a warning. A god is coming. The chief looked the girl in the eye. That is what she said. Wait, a god? The girl blurted, completely shocked. A worried look washed over her face. She touched her chin and started whispering softly. But after the big war, gods weren't allowed down here. So why are they crashing our party now? Shaking and soaked in sweat, he lost it. No clue. Get ready now. We gotta protect the godmother, period. Out of nowhere, the girl remembered something and turned to the chief. Wait, what if we hit up the sword saint for help? He froze, then screamed, Great call! The chief whipped out his phone to call Jun Su. I'm calling him now. On the other side, the call finally went through. He snatched up the phone and pressed it to his ear. Hello. Before Kim Junu could speak, the chief cut him off. Sword Saint, save us. The chief was full-on sobbing. A panicked voice screamed that a god was heading straight for our village. At this rate, the godmother is totally toasted. Kim Junu shouted back in total shock. A god? No way. He was standing on the airship, and seeing his massive freak out, the river goddess crept closer. Back on the line, the chief nervously stammered, What's going on? Are we already getting attacked? Realization hit Kim Junu like a ton of bricks. I think that's just my airship flying over the trees. He didn't know how to tell them, so they actually think I'm a god now? He gave a nervous laugh and whispered, "Sorry, Chief. That god is actually just me." The chief's jaw dropped as he yelled, "What?" Meanwhile, the ship kept gliding fast over the forest on the water's current. I finally feel like I actually belong here. Then, Kim Junu hung up and thought about the long, painful grind it took to reach level 8 in this game. Deep in the forest, the chief and the white-haired girl were already waiting for him. The airship's shadow loomed over the final spot. The tree god was growing rough and silent. The chief's voice rang out in greeting. "Sword Saint, you've gotten way stronger in just 1 year." The girl stood there with a serious look, staring up at the godmother. "The Sword Saint wouldn't hurt us, so we can relax, right?" Kim Junu stepped up with a cocky grin, slapped his chest, and said, "Of course. Who do you think you're dealing with?" "I'm the guy who drank the godmother's blood." He pointed at the airship, then looked at the tree god with concern. "Actually, the spirit I brought is here to help her out." Her soft voice echoed back, "Help me?" Jun Su nodded and said, "That's right." The tree god kept talking, asking, "You're looking for the last piece, aren't you?" Jun Su wasn't shocked at all. "So you knew? Well, that is going to make this whole negotiation way easier." He stood before the tree god with his hands behind his back and started his pitch respectfully. "Godmother, how would you like to become a world tree?" Hearing that, everyone just stood there with their jaws on the floor. His eyes went wide and he stammered, barely able to speak. "A world tree? Besides the one in Northern Europe, there's never been another one, right?" Someone else chimed in next to him. Even that one was burned to ash during Ragnarok. The chief felt totally overwhelmed and tried to shut Jun Su down. "Hey, Sword Saint, you're going way too far. Even for her to become a world tree and a real god, she'd need to live thousands of years more." If you heard her, a voice cut him off. "My child," the white-haired girl said, speaking up from where she sat to get their attention. "Let's just trust him this once." The girl looked up with a firm voice. He is the Sword Saint, after all. That left the chief and the others totally flustered. He turned and quietly asked the tree god for her opinion. "What's the move, ma'am?" She answered immediately. "Let's hear what he has to say." "Go ahead. Let's hear the idea." With the green light, Jun Su held up 3 fingers and started explaining. "I'll keep it simple. A tree needs 3 things to grow. To really thrive, you need 3 key elements." He laid it out plain and simple for everyone. Light, water, and nutrients. Kim Junu looked up at the tree god and said, "Even if you're a god, your basic nature as a tree will never change." She understood his point instantly. "Which means," Jun Su said, putting his hands on his hips with a smug grin, "today, I'm providing you all 3 of those things, godmother." A bit later, Beak Soy, who was hauling a heavy cart, yelled out, "Master, where should I put this stuff?" Standing outside, Kim Junu pointed with authority. "Put it on the left path. Everyone, start moving the fertilizer made from 2 massive, powerful dragons. We're starting with fertilizer made from the blood and guts of high-level gold and corpse dragons." Yo, they just started tearing up the dirt everywhere. Everyone was grinding, mixing in those icy Arctic Emperor scraps like some super-powered fertilizer. The chief and the girl just stood there looking totally lost while he chuckled. "All right, the vitamins are in. Next is the H2O, Kim Junu yelled, summoning the river goddess. She swooped in and started soaking the tree god down. Nin, the river goddess, was totally down to handle the irrigation duty. Her necklace started sparking. That water magic, boosted by angel tears, is going to take her divine power to a whole new level. He hopped on Sikvong and took flight. Time for some perfect lighting, he thought, checking the vibes below. Not too harsh, just right. A menu popped up. He held out his hand and started blasting pure energy straight into the tree god. It was all about that sincere faith. Hold this beam steady for long enough, finish the steps, and watch the magic happen. Suddenly, she's glowing like crazy. It's like the whole forest is singing while light explodes from every single branch. The tree god looks totally brand new, just dripping in this blinding golden aura. Finally, the first deity to show up since the big holy war. A real god. The world tree is alive. She smiled, sounding super chill and thankful. Nice work, Sword Saint. I definitely owe you one. Jun Su played it cool. No sweat. Honestly, I think I'm the one getting the better deal here. She just grinned. Seriously, I'm grateful. My mom would have thought you were a total trip. Very interesting. He pictured a massive green canopy. Wait, is your mom Yggdrasil? The world tree nodded back. Yeah, she's Ash now. But she was the OG mama to every divine tree in existence. Kim Junu did a double take. He looked off to the side thinking, Oh yeah, I remember now. That was in the side quest. She looked at him with respect. Look, you deserve a legit reward. He played it shy, scratching his head like he was going to say no. For real? You shouldn't. I didn't do it for the loot, he said, while his brain was screaming, I better get paid. Ain't nothing in life for free. A single drop of water fell from a golden leaf. This is yours, she said, letting it drop. The last piece of the puzzle. When it touched him, he just lit up with pure, raw energy. He smirked, feeling pretty cocky about finally hitting level 8. Light exploded everywhere, soaking into him until he felt a total rush. It was like the world tree was downloading its power directly into his soul. Junu just stood there with his arms wide, soaking it up. Everything felt totally free. This new world was finally unlocking. But then, a tiny spark flickered, drifted down, and turned pitch black. He reached out to grab it, but the thing turned into black feathers and blew away. He ripped open his scroll, panicking. Wait, what? Why did the quest fail? Based on the guide from Goddess Gare, it should have been perfect. Then, her voice echoed out. You aren't ready yet, Sword Saint. He looked at the tree, totally stunned. Not ready? I came all this way for nothing? So what about all the loot I ground for just to hit level 8? She stayed calm. Look, after level 8, you're basically stepping into the League of the Gods. This is the transcendent realm. He just shut up and listened to what the tree had to say. It's a power way beyond humans. You gotta figure out what that means for you. He froze, eyes wide. How am I supposed to do that? Her small branches reached out, swirling around his tiny body in the center. Your body is already prepared. Your soul is basically a powerhouse, and you've finally opened the door to godhood. Out in deep space, lines of light formed a triangle right around the planet. So tell me, on the road from man to God, where exactly do you think you're stuck? He felt tiny standing on one of those 3 glowing orbs, a real divine character class. He saw a flash of his old self tapping on a phone. This was definitely in the game settings. Memories of his distant past started hitting him non-stop. Everyone can reach level 9, but at level 8, the character gets to pick their divine class. Parts of the puzzle started clicking into place, showing images of other players. Level 9 means becoming a constellation, basically a god with a permanent title attached to your name. Specs and pics of Bigsoy popped up right next to her stat sheet. Your title comes from the stats that define your whole life. Junu was about to get his. Power surged through him as status windows started popping up like crazy. Stats are basically just your vibes and beliefs. Level 4, Warrior Class. It is all about their philosophy. Giant skeleton, unyielding skeleton, immortal recovery, mind-body unity, mana convergence, combat, Tiger King, swordsmanship. Hearing that, Jun Su felt totally lost. His face darkened as he rubbed his chin and thought, this is way too vague. A sword saint swaps stats so often it is hard to pin them down. Junu stared up at the world tree and asked, that missing piece you mentioned, does it mean I still lack a divine class? He gave a tiny smile. Exactly. You have only ever lived to survive, never once stopping to figure out who you actually are. Light poured from the world tree as it spoke. If your body and soul don't know who they are, then everything is just an illusion. Standing right below, he looked up at her, hand on his chest, and asked, what do I have to do to fix this? The world tree started showing him the answer through memories. Hearing all that, his head started spinning and felt totally hazy. Damn it. Identity. Who I am. I have never even considered that kind of stuff. She suddenly spoke words of comfort to him. Do not be disappointed, Sword Saint. He bowed his head, hand on his chest in silence. The answer is inside you. Suddenly, black smoke appeared out of nowhere, swirling deep into his chest. He gripped his chest hard. This is the power the general gave me. An attribute card popped up. Jun Su just stared at it, eyes wide. Suddenly, a huge explosion ripped through everything. Next thing he knew, his soul was inside someone else's body. Junu was shocked, unable to believe his eyes, wondering where he was. Suddenly, a shaky voice rang out, cutting through his confusion. Brother, I messed up. Jun Su turned to see him on the ground, clutching a bloody wound. Just save yourself. Go. The enemy had already caught up to them from the front. He raised his sword to face the crowd and yelled, Don't be stupid. How could I leave Dudong and run? The guy on the ground just cursed in anger. You idiot. You think I will thank you for this? Right then, Junu saw the whole past. This is the past of General Guismum. The enemy standing nearby pointed their blades at them and shouted, Surrender peacefully. Put down your sword or we will show no mercy. Watching this scene made him reflect on it endlessly. The general awakened his hero attribute because the other guy would not stop screaming at him. Please, just run. I am begging you. What? You think you are some kind of hero? He just gripped his sword, ready to sacrifice his life for his friend. In other words, the image of the attribute card appeared with him. His eyes went wide with excitement. He looked back and yelled, "Not a hero, but a man to be proud of. Live or die, we do it together, right?" Total selflessness. Just like that, Jun Su snapped back to reality. He jolted, clutching his chest and gasping for air. He almost collapsed. Kim Junu was totally wiped out, thinking to himself, "Man, it is so hot. I can feel the general's emotions boiling. But I am not him. What kind of purpose am I supposed to find here?" Suddenly, his eyes snapped open. His pupils lit up like he finally realized something huge. He broke into a huge smile and whispered, "That is right. Come to think of it, I have only ever been here to get stronger. To look back at where I started and everything that brought me to this moment. Outside, the river goddess sat calmly on a branch of the world tree, just watching. He slowly stood up as an attribute card appeared and started spinning around him. Images started showing up, building noble attributes like layers of a fortress wall. An attribute card finally materialized. Holding his sword, power surged through him, merging high-level attributes to create the ultimate class. Jun Su's sword was sparking with electricity. He swung the blade with a grin. A castle was being built brick by brick. A massive tower rose up. Jun Su stood below it, thinking, "And that is how I got stronger." The tower released heavy waves of pressure. A blinding light appeared at the very top. Suddenly, Jun Su's whole body erupted with power. He clenched his fists and flew straight up. Golden Warrior, a tribute collector before the world tree. A beam of light shot out, lighting up the whole area. The goddess sat calmly on her branch. "Congratulations, Sword Saint." Junu slowly opened his eyes. Power was literally exploding from him. Man, he just hit a whole new god tier. Later that night in the hall, a hyped voice yelled, "Level 8, Master, you actually hit level 8. Everyone went wild seeing Jun Su. The congrats just kept rolling in, one after the other. "The guy is a total natural genius. Congrats, Master." They all swarmed him instantly. Cho rushed over with 2 bottles of wine. "Yo, Kim, huge congrats on the massive level up. You are officially a transcendent now. You are one of the top 100 strongest humans alive." Mage Kim jumped in, "And you are top 7 in the whole country." Priest Kim pumped his fists and yelled, "Forget being the Sword Saint. You have moved way past that title now. You are the Sword God." Junu gritted his teeth and held up a hand to quiet them. "Look, let's keep this party low-key for now." Cho smiled and nodded. "Yeah, definitely. You got it." Suddenly, the mood shifted. Everyone looked away, worried. "If the Order of the Father hears about this, we are going to have to move fast." He looked away and sighed. "I just had to tell the whole world about my ties to the Order of the Father." Junu flashed back to Poka, showing that hard evidence pulled from the Mamakya Society data files. He gritted his teeth while listening to the high-wise report over the phone. "It proves the Saint Tess of the Order of the Father is the one behind the disasters in chapters 1 and 2. A long silence followed that news. Junu stood up high, watching his people train below while he thought to himself, "They will find out I hit level 8 soon enough." He already had a solid plan in mind to help the rest of his crew grind and level up fast. "Before that mess starts, I need to make everyone way stronger." Bear is at level 7, and Sel Gwyn is level 7. Janet, Key, and Priest Kim are still stuck at level 6. Suddenly, a massive explosion lit up the entire sky. Since all 6 of their stats are maxed, I am going to merge them all together. He thought about the squad he had put together, and for a second, he actually felt confident. I have gained more allies now. With a perfect plan, I can win this war against Saint Tess. Much later, at a massive castle under the dark night sky. 1 month later, inside the grand cathedral belonging to the Order of the Father. Tons of fireworks exploded in the air, making a crazy amount of noise. The Saint Tess lounged on her throne and groaned. "Ugh, so noisy." Her soldier stood nearby and answered respectfully, "Yes, my lady, a new transcendent has arrived." She leaned her head on her hand and sneered. "So, that person is the savior of our group in this nasty, trashy world." The Saint Tess had a wicked look in her eyes. She laughed softly and whispered to herself. After summoning endless rebirth and testing his soul through infinite trials, even after hitting God tier in this literal hellhole, he still chose rebirth over final ascension. A magic circle glowed as a mage stood in the middle casting a spell. This was the one summoned through the Oracle's purification for the Order. Saint Tess looked totally thrilled. She blushed and started laughing. Finally, the guy is at level 8, she shouted. He is at the perfect level for the Father to descend. We have waited way too long for this. Below her, the soldiers stood ready to obey her command. Everything is ready. Waiting for the order, she suddenly drew her weapon with a sharp grin. She stood proud in front of her army, weapon ready, and gave the command. All right, let's do this. Her expression went dark, and her eyes lit up with excitement. Time for our grand plan of sacrifice. Meanwhile, Kim Jun-woo stomped his foot and bolted. On the television, a news anchor had a serious look. We have breaking news for you tonight. The whole Order of the Father has just vanished. This report was everywhere, and it got everyone talking fast. People from all over, even the ones at the Grand Cathedral, have disappeared without leaving a single clue. The second he heard that, he burst through the door and sprinted straight out into the street. The Order was already being watched after they were linked to several terrorist attacks happening all over the entire country lately. Kim Jun-woo ran with everything he had. Chapter 3 is officially live. While running, a massive crowd of people blocked his way. Gotta focus. The crowd moved like zombies, moaning over and over. Savior! Oh, our great savior! They suddenly lunged, attacking him all at once. Please, end our pain. Save the world from this literal hell on earth. He went pale, gritting his teeth as he tried to dodge the swarm. Oh, savior, help us. Ropes suddenly appeared, tying them all up. Nobody move. The cops had arrived to save Kim Jun-woo. Freeze or I'll shoot. He was so glad his allies finally showed up. From a distance, an officer yelled, Hey, Sword Saint! The president scrambled over, looking totally panicked. You okay, kid? Kim Jun-su blinked, shocked. I mean, even the big man of South Korea showed up for this. Even the top general was there. Jun Su flashed back to the first time he met the president. He had been tracking me since that lone wolf attack. Guess he realized things were going south and hauled tail. Kim Jun-su straightened up and gave a polite nod. Sir, you are a busy man. What brings you out here? He looked dead serious. I am here to protect you. Say what? The Order of the Father is moving weird lately. The president broke down the current mess. Sword Saint, I think they want a god to hijack your body. Savior? More like bait. Jun Su totally agreed. Yeah, basically, but to host a god, they need a crazy amount of mana first. We are talking a massive stockpile. The president was still doubtful. How do they even collect that much mana while hiding out in the shadows? Jun Su dropped the truth bomb. They are probably going to use that one specific ancient method. The Order of the Father has been using this trick to harvest mana for centuries. It is sick and dangerous. We are talking human sacrifice. The president still had a million questions. You think those missing cult members volunteered to die? No way that is enough fuel. Then Jun Su hit him with a terrifying number. What if it was 1 million people? That stopped the president cold. What? Jun Su kept laying it out. If they wiped out an entire mega city as a sacrifice, just imagine how much mana they would score. Suddenly, a reporter's voice cut through the silent meeting. Minutes ago, a massive glowing barrier completely swallowed the entire city of Gwangju. Backup requests are getting blocked, and they are using lethal force to keep the army from getting inside. Jay slammed his fist down, yelling, Their plan is so obvious, it hurts. It is a total setup. Even back during the Japanese occupation, they were only obsessed with spreading their twisted cult influence. Yeonjung calmly weighed in. It is clear. They want to butcher everyone in Gwangju to finish their dark ritual. No way. Who does something that messed up? Hai-wei stepped forward, showing off the evidence she had collected. I have got proof. We dug this up while tracing the links between the Black Panthers and the Order. Based on the info we have, the conclusion is pretty obvious and honestly terrifying. Check out this classified data. They are planning to sacrifice every single person in Gwangju City just to create a God King. Jam grit his teeth in frustration. Now the whole ugly truth was finally out. Exactly what I thought the plan to bring back the father. Then, Jun Su stood up to pitch his idea. So, I have got a plan, sir. It is time to call for a general mobilization of our forces. The president went silent, thinking hard. He needed to hear what everyone thought about a full mobilization order. Before I give that order, I want your takes. Jam did not waste a second speaking his mind. I am in. We need to wipe them out right now. Yeonjung nodded along. I agree too. The evidence is ironclad. There is no reason for us to sit around and wait any longer. The Tower Master was totally hyped to join the fight, saying the Sun Tower votes yes. Hai-wei spoke up too, confirming her elite security forces are all in. We are hitting them with everything. All of Kumo's security and my personal guard are joining this war. Once everyone finished talking, the president finally made his big call. Got it. Since we are all on the same page, he turned to the Sword Saint. I am giving you full command. Your mission crushed the Patriarch completely. Will you take the lead and command our forces? Jay was absolutely loving this idea. Neither Yanjang nor the Tower Master argued. Seeing the trust in their eyes, Jun Su accepted. And just like that, the system screen popped up with a new update. You have unlocked the Commander Effect trait. The bigger and tougher the army under your command, the more power you get. Jun Su smirked and declared, like hell I would say no to that. Everything clicked into place. The war was officially on. Everyone got their orders, loud and clear. The Eastern and Western Corps led the ground charge. Jam was the one who shouted the order fire. A huge explosion rocked the area, but Yanjang just shrugged. Did we even scratch it? Then the order came, charge. The whole army surged forward as soldiers from every corner teamed up. Even the Holy Knights from Aquilia were there. Everyone had one goal. They poured everything into the fight, and even Church G was right there on the front lines. Jun Su had called in favors from everywhere. The Northern Dragon Corps was handling the air war for us. Another squad hit the waterways to push ahead, exactly like he'd planned. Meanwhile, the Monster Village and Sun Tower squad hopped on the airship. Jun Su looked like a total boss, the majestic leader clearly in charge of every single one of them. That is me. Warrior Kim felt a surge of resolve. I will use every trick in the book to fight beside them. Then, a massive warship appeared. He freaked out, pointing. Warrior Kim, look. Jun Su turned, stone-faced. So, you finally decided to show up, huh? He knew this would happen. Suddenly, a blinding light flared up. The big gun of this fight, an even crazier ship with 8 mid-tier bosses, crashed the party. Jun Su locked on. That is the Saint's airship. I have to wreck that thing first. He immediately signaled the Tower Master to make the opening move. Tower Master, can you hit that thing? The old man stepped up without breaking a single sweat. Well, this looks fun. The Tower Master aimed his weapon at the flying ship. This is what mages do best. With a roar, he blasted them. Die. A crack formed on the barrier, and the old man loved it. How do you like a taste of ultimate magic, absolute flame? Much appreciated, sir. Jun Su moved to the next step. Tower Master, we will take it from here. Mage Kim, Priest Kim, get ready. They were already set. Copy that. The Supreme Flame Cannon is ready to go. Then, Jun Su shouted the order. Fire! The blast roared like a dragon toward the enemy ship. Then, he pinged the River Goddess. Their port side shield is toasted. River Goddess, get the squad close to their left side. She answered instantly. On it. A massive wave launched the ship high into the air, creating the perfect opening for the team. Now is our chance. Crank the magic to the absolute max. They slammed the controls forward. The ship zipped across the water like a bullet. Iron Fist radioed in. The Supreme Flame Cannon is fully recharged. We are ready to fire on your call. Seeing the moment was right, Jun Su attacked. No time to waste. Fire again. Debris rained down everywhere after the hit. The enemies were in total chaos. Damn it. What the hell is going on? At this rate, the airship is toast. Suddenly, a voice calmed the storm. No need to panic. Everyone turned to see who was showing up. Their commander rallied the troops. We serve the greatest god of all. With our patriarch here, we have nothing to fear. He raised his hands, chanting and gathering power. O patriarch, show mercy upon your loyal servants. Grant us your power. But then, a direct hit from Jun Su's team rocked them. The leader squinted through the blast. What? He flinched hearing Jun Su's voice. Landing was a total success. When the guys saw Jun Su, they went wild. It is the savior. He is here. He watched them, whispering. I knew it. But they charged like lunatics, screaming, kill him, take him down, for the patriarch. Jun Su felt a chill at their sheer numbers. Man, there are just way too many of them. Suddenly, the Red King shielded him. The leader stared at the massive fangs, confused. Huh? In a heartbeat, their lines turned into pure panic. The leader? He just got swallowed. But the guy was still trash-talking, refusing to quit. Do not be afraid. He is alone. With the Patriarch's blessing, we win. Then, a cocky voice spoke. Who said he is alone? Baeksoi's team crashed the party. Master, I hope you weren't trying to have all the fun. Jun Su looked at his students and gave a confident smirk. First up was Guzin in a 2-on-1 sword fight, but with his skills, he effortlessly took them out. That is 2, Guzin said, checking his side. Next was Ki, casually dropping enemies like it was nothing. You guys ready to give up yet? I might actually spare you. The enemy was cornered but still spat back. Shut your mouth, witch. Hearing that, the girl made thousands of clones to end it. Is that so? Then just die. Suddenly, a blade took the enemy's head. Kie screamed in frustration. Her kill was stolen. Baeksoy, not cool. Baeksoy could only apologize to her teammate. My bad. I just got a little too hyped up there. Luckily, Janet arrived in time to block the hit with her shield. One swing and she sent everyone flying. She gave Key a sharp reminder. Do not let your guard down when you are in enemy territory. The commander froze, shocked by their power. Impossible. He could not believe what was happening right in front of him. How could 1,000 troops get wiped this fast? Before he could think, the Red King swallowed him whole. He was shaking, begging his god for a miracle. Look, Patriarch, it's not too late to split that power with us. Too late. A bullet caught him right in the dome. Junu's voice cracked like thunder over the radio. Skies are clear, but the ground is still a mess. Enemies are hauling tail to escape Jay's blade. Yan Zhang sees the slaughter and grins. Yo, Pops! Still swinging that steel like it weighs nothing, huh? He lets out a massive laugh. This is light work! Then they start vibing about the good old days. Never seen this many losers in one place before. Yan Zhang looked up, dead serious about the situation. This should be a total piece of cake. She felt more hype watching the airship arrive because it really looks like we've got this one in the bag. Massive explosions rocked the sky, totally deleting those enemy tanks. Jay looked over, totally impressed even if he didn't want to admit it. Look who finally showed up for the party after breezing through their own mission. Jun Su flashed a sneaky grin and threw up a salute. Commander Kim reporting in mission to crush the cult was a success, but that city ahead still has a nasty shield up. Bioi was totally floored watching Yan Zhang go off. I can't believe I'm actually seeing the guild leader casting spells from this close. Gwen was all in on that. With her power, we're definitely gonna wreck that shield. Easy. Meanwhile, Jun Su just stood there in the shadows, keeping his eyes on her. He knew exactly what Yan Zhang was throwing down. It was a lethal mix of martial arts and magic cultivation. This is the Western General's ultimate secret skill. For raw damage, this attack hits way harder than that black tiger sword style the Eastern General uses. Even so, Jun Su wasn't sold. That's supposed to be one of the most insane, piercing moves in the game. Once Yan Zhang finished the job, Gwen started hyping it up. Heck yeah, that shield has to be toast now. Then, someone gasped. What? And Kim Junu realized he was right to be worried. Just like I feared. They're all frozen because that shield doesn't have a single dent. It tanked a massive hit and didn't even flinch. His stomach dropped as the nerves set in. I've got a seriously bad feeling about this whole thing. Jin was shook. That last attack was basically erased. It did absolutely nothing. Jay rubbed his shoulder, itching for a fight. This isn't cutting it. Let me have a go. But Jun Su stepped in to block him. Hold up, General. If the Western General can't crack that shield, then we're dealing with something much worse. Yan Zhang chimed in, confirming the bad news. He's right. That thing is the peak of martial arts. We're looking at level 9 of the Heavenly Demon art. Baoi screamed out in pure shock. The Heavenly Demon art? Meanwhile, Jay was busy grinding his teeth in a rage. I called it. I could tell that power was on another level. Then, another voice cut through the air. But wait, has the Heavenly Demon art always been this insane? Yan Zhang paused, unsure, but then she scowled and gave them the most likely scenario. If someone is actually using the heart of the Heavenly Demon, then maybe. The Tower Master cut her off mid-sentence. You think the Heavenly Demon is dead? No way. That's impossible. And his heart too? Out of nowhere, Haeyang showed up to set them straight. It's totally possible. She was holding some high-stakes documents. I just cracked the code for their big resurrection ritual plan. There's a section right here about the Heavenly Demon's second student, the guy they call the Demon King. The Tower Master looked pale as a ghost. The Demon King? A student actually took out their own master? How does someone even live with themselves after that? Jay couldn't stay chill either, firing off a million questions. But wait, the Heavenly Demon is supposed to be the strongest one, right? No way this is real. Yan Zhang was thinking the exact same thing. He's totally right. Not even the Demon King is that cracked. But then Kim Jun Su dropped a huge what if. What if the Council of Bishops helped him out? Even with that tiny bit of info, his mind was made up. It's not like it's impossible. Actually, it's the most obvious answer we've got. They started to settle down and asked Kim Jun Su for his real opinion. So what's the move? He didn't blink before dropping the plan. We have to go verify this ourselves. Kim Junu stepped up for the job. I'm going in. With zero fear, he bolted toward the enemy base to check on the Heavenly Demon. Kim Jun-woo hopped on the Red Dragon's back and flew straight to Heavenly Mountain to investigate. He couldn't get that shield out of his head. The Heavenly Demon art is a total cheat code for both attacking and defending. The only way to smash through that barrier is to use the Heavenly Demon cultivation art against its own power. Back in the moment, Jay needed to hear it again. "You're really heading to Heavenly Mountain?" Kim Jun Su was 100% locked in. Exactly. Time to verify if that big bad Heavenly Demon is actually pushing daisies. He couldn't shake those nagging doubts. Only one man has the power to shatter that barrier, the Divine King, the Heavenly Demon's very first disciple. Once they landed, Kim Jun Su threw a slab of steak to the Red Dragon. "Thanks for hanging tight, buddy." The dragon gobbled up the treat with total joy. Seeing the Red Dragon so hyped impressed him. It just crushed 4,000 kilometers and looks totally fresh. "This beast is easily my most elite ride." Jun Su stared down the massive tower and locked in his choice. Heavenly Demon Cult. "All right, let's do this." He walked in, totally on guard. The dragon's eyes flashed bright as their master called out a greeting. "Welcome to our home, Sword Saint of the East." The Grand Elder, being super paranoid, decided to grill him immediately. Why show up without an invite? Jun Su stayed cool, making no sudden moves while introducing himself. "Hey there, call me Warrior Kim, no big deal." Then he flipped the script, making the whole squad sweat. "Just dropping by to visit the boss in seclusion. Need to know if he is still breathing or totally gone." The geezer played coy. "You know that is impossible." But Jun Su fired right back without missing a single beat. They just found a barrier made with Heavenly Demon magic over in Wongu, specifically in Gyeonggi Province, South Korea. His voice turned ice cold as he spoke. "Doesn't that prove the big boss might be dead or gone?" This totally ticked off the Grand Elder. "What the heck are you yapping about?" He barked back in defense. "The Heavenly Demon is deep in solo training right now. Nobody gets in or out." But Jun Su wasn't buying it. He just calmly grilled the old guy right back. "That is cap. Don't his students get a pass?" The old man's face went dark as he twitched. "What? You saying the Divine King or the Demon King betrayed the master?" The elder could not handle that level of disrespect. The squad swarmed Kim Jun Su instantly. "You think you can just walk after talking all that trash to us?" He ordered the attack. "Teach this disrespectful little punk a real lesson." Even surrounded, Jun Su just sighed. "Man, I have a really busy schedule." The Grand Elder's voice turned cold as the fight officially kicked off. "End him." They rushed in with smug grins. "On it," Jun Su blurred, easily dancing through their circle of steel. His speed blew their minds. Since when? But by then, it was already game over. Jun Su lunged straight for the Grand Elder. The old man panicked as the students yelled, "No, he is going for the boss." In a heartbeat, Jun Su pinned him to the ground. "Since you won't let me in, let's try this instead." Then the elder noticed something shocking. "What?" He was totally stunned that Jun Su actually had that specific item. "How did you get the Heavenly Demon seal?" He just smirked confidently. "I have every right to enter this place." Jun Su spoke with authority, ignoring the terrified crowd. "I am taking on the third gate of the Heavenly Demon." He mocked them with zero fear. "I am officially challenging the trial." The Grand Elder tracked every move on the screen and let out a massive sigh. He watched closely, then spoke with pure annoyance. "Did the Blood King seriously hand over the tablet to that kid?" The elder narrowed his eyes, deep in his thoughts. "This spot is the ultimate training ground, built by the very first Heavenly Demon of our cult. It is guarded by 10,000-year-old iron puppets that use elite, world-class martial arts moves. Even a master swordsman would fail here." Seeing the incoming attack, he muttered, "Nothing even worth watching here." "Whatever." The Grand Elder turned to Bale, barking out one last order. "I am heading inside. You clowns finish this." But his henchman turned pale and started stuttering. "Hold on a second, Grand Elder." The elder looked back with an icy glare, but his jaw dropped. He already cleared it. He stared in disbelief as he processed the news. First gate, the Acura Pass. Mara's elite blade style, Gladiator Venus, the master of close quarters combat, and the one-hit demon. He absolutely demolished them all in just seconds. Second gate, the Heavenly Calamity Pass. The Grand Elder suddenly screamed out in total shock. He is tanking that demonic fire without any shield. He watched closely. He is building a power circuit and reacting instantly. Right then, the Grand Elder reached a final conclusion. He has the Heavenly Demon body with all the traits. Magic resistance, dark resistance, diamond body, total fortress, indomitable. Jun Su smirked and laughed, feeling himself. Easy work. Cleared the second gate already. Now for the big one, the third gate, the Supreme Pass. Legend says if you clear all 3 gates, you become the Heavenly Demon, and yeah, there is a reason for that hype. He tensed up, scanning for a weakness, desperate to find a way past this final gate. The Heavenly Demon lunged forward like a total psycho. Kim Junu tracked every single twitch of his muscles. He is mimicking the Heavenly Demon art. My usual tricks won't cut it. His face hardened as he charged straight ahead. Kim Junu had a light bulb moment. If I had a world-class skill to copy everything, I might actually survive this. Their blades collided, steel grinding against steel with insane power. Just by mimicking the art, space itself started warping. Then, they both violently swung their swords to the sides. The Heavenly Demon struck first to take control, leaving Jun Su scrambling to block the heavy hits. I want that power too. But level 9 Heavenly Demon art is no joke. I need a counter strategy to win. I have got to expand my world even more. I am nowhere near getting attribute gear, the demon eye, or a magic brain yet. Kim Junu fought back hard, but it just was not enough. The Heavenly Demon was not even breaking a sweat. He had to stay sharp to survive. If he wanted the Heavenly Demon art to smash the Master's barrier, he had to charge in with a totally blank expression. Kim Junu stayed glued to the Heavenly Demon. His eyes flashed red, showing he was dead serious about this fight. Inside, Jun Su kept chanting one thing to himself: aim for the absolute top. Right after that, he took aim at the Heavenly Demon and unleashed a massive blow that sent him flying. A thick cloud of black smoke appeared with his words. Kim Junu flashed a grin and sheathed his sword. Even using these Heavenly Demon moves, there is no way I am losing to some puppets, right? 3 down. Suddenly, the opposite door started shaking, making him jump. Jun Su stood there completely lost. What is wrong with all these people? The Great Elder scrambled across the floor in terror and shrieked, "A new Heavenly Demon is born!" Instantly, he and his followers hit the floor and yelled, "Third Great Heavenly Demon, reign forever." But the kid just stood there looking confused. What? Everyone kept cheering like they had totally lost their minds. The Heavenly Demon descends. All demons, bow down. Outside, a massive ring of fire suddenly erupted. The Great Elder followed closely, saying, "You should not be so humble, Your Excellency. I will definitely help you, Third Great Heavenly Demon." But Jun Su waved his hands, refusing the offer. "No, I was only faking it." The old man looked shocked. "Faking it?" The Great Elder asked with a totally serious expression. "Does that mean you are not the true heir to the Heavenly Demon art?" The kid's eyes flared with anger as he snapped back. "Exactly, I have been telling you that this entire time." He thought to himself, "Honestly, I really do want to learn that Heavenly Demon art." Seeing him look around, the old man finally spoke up. The Great Elder pointed out the 2 statues. These represent the legendary Heavenly Demons of the past. The one gripping the sword is the actual founder of the Heavenly Demon cult, and the one in front is the current Heavenly Demon. The boy laughed and cut him off. "I know him already." Jun Su said proudly, "I know him better than anyone." He rubbed his chin, thinking hard. I wonder if that Heavenly Demon sword is even in the game. Some weapons only exist as virtual data. The old man chuckled and said, "This is where you need to be." Kim Junu stared up at the massive sign in shock. "Welcome to Penitence Grotto. One of the 3 people who can unlock the gate is being held prisoner here." The door creaked open as he thought to himself. He got locked up recently after dueling with the Divine Lord. Chenny smiled and asked, "Who is this?" "Long time no see." Black Tiger Swordmaster Jun Su was totally stunned. "Blood King." He stood up straight immediately. "It has been a long, long time." The man studied him and gave a silent nod. "You hit level 8 already." Kim Junu replied with a straight face. "Your demonic energy is sealed, but your eyes are still sharp." He bragged, "People call me Sword Heaven in the East now. I am not the same Black Tiger Swordmaster you used to know." Chenny nodded and gave a warm smile. "I cannot believe you already passed me. I guess I have been slacking." "So, why are you here exactly?" Skipping the small talk, Jun Su got straight to it. A city in South Korea is trapped inside a massive barrier. What he said next shocked the man. "It is a barrier made using the Heavenly Demon art." Chenny was shook. "The Heavenly Demon divine art? What is that even supposed to mean?" Jun Su broke it down. "Totally. I am not sure how, but I am betting my dad's old cult was using the Heavenly Demon's heart." The man snapped, jumping up in a total rage. "That is trash. You're saying my master already kicked the bucket? Right now, it is just theory." Chenny was losing it. He could not wait. "Listen, Elder. I am heading into the grotto to see the master myself. Right now, But the old man wasn't having it. No way. That is strictly against every rule we have. Then he shrugged and gave in. Fine. Since I run this place, I will let you take a quick stroll. But first, the elder gave some warnings. You have got 30 minutes, no more. The guy was so desperate he agreed before the elder even finished speaking. Deal. Unless the sky falls, I am good, Chenny shouted before jetting off into the distance like a pro. I will be back. Everyone watched in terror. The Blood King is loose. Someone get the Divine Lord on the line. He blurred forward like a rocket, calling back over his shoulder. Keep up. We are almost at the Master's secret spot. Stick to me. Jun Su was struggling just to keep track of Chenny's insane, inhuman speed. He is not even using demonic energy or internal power, yet he is moving like a literal bolt of lightning. The kid wondered, if this guy is this fast, how scary are the bosses who actually manage to beat him? Boom! Something slammed into Chenny's back, making him yell in pain. Then, a cold, menacing voice cut through the air. Hey, little brother, weren't you supposed to be locked up for 3 years of training? The Divine Lord appeared, looking ready to kill. Explain yourself. It was the Divine Lord, the Heavenly Demon's #1 student. Chenny looked up, thinking, the top disciple and the true heir to the Heavenly Demon's secret martial arts. How did this guy move so fast? He stuttered. Big brother, listen. I think Master is gone. He left his body behind. The man stayed cold. I need to check his status now. Stop talking trash and get back to your cell, the Divine Lord snarled. Act up again, and I will chop off your limbs like last time. Jun Su landed and whispered, this guy is terrifying. Exactly what you would expect from a heavy hitter in a demon cult. The man looked down his nose. Are you Sword Heaven? The boy just gave a very casual reply. Call me the Gold Warrior. The Divine Lord didn't hold back. I've heard the stories, but this is where our master trains. Beat it. I am not putting up with this mess. Despite the threat, Jun Su just gave him a playful, cheeky grin. Yeah, well, I heard the strongest makes the rules around here. He smirked and whipped out his weapon fast. So how about we settle this with a little sparring match? The man lost it and accepted the challenge. You idiot, bring it on. Since I am the veteran here, I will give you 3 free moves. Suddenly, they clashed hard. Fine, then I won't hold back. Right then, Jun Su realized he was looking at the Heavenly Demon adamant wall. The Divine Lord taunted him. Nice try, but it's useless. I am going to make you regret picking up that blade. But the kid didn't flinch. What the heck is this? Jun Su moved like a blur to block the heavy blow. Compared to that massive barrier back in the city, this little shield is basically just child's play. The Divine Lord's face twisted in pure fury. Jun Su saw the opening and lunged straight for his opponent's throat. Who's giving who free moves now? Huh? He flashed a wicked smile. Check out the power of this double sword technique. Jun Su leveled his sword at the angry Divine Lord. Even cornered, the man's face stayed dark and totally sinister. My bad. I guess I was a bit too cocky, the Divine Lord muttered before charging back in for blood. Now the real fight starts. He roared, smashing the ground with a massive, earth-shaking, powerful attack. The heaven-shattering palm hit hard, but the boy had vanished. There was nothing left but a crater and shattered rock. Jun Su watched that killer move carefully. If that is how you want to play, then watch this. The man yelled, no way, but it was too late. The kid had already built a barrier and was charging. Jun Su timed it perfectly. I will take your best defense and use it to take you down right now. Purple light exploded everywhere. Chenny grabbed his bleeding arm, looking pale as he and the Divine Lord both screamed in shock. They both knew exactly what it was, the Heavenly Demon, divine art. The kid just gave a smug grin. I just copied your moves, you know. Jun Su looked around at all the absolute wreckage. If I didn't block that and took it straight to the face, I would be a pancake right now. The boss looked crazy. How dare you use that forbidden art? He charged at the kid like a total psychopath. I can't believe this. The Divine Lord slammed into Kim Jan-Su like a bolt of lightning. The boy's face went ghost white, totally blindsided. Jun Su instantly tightened his fist to keep it together. He scrambled to get clear of the man's reach and forced himself back up. He scanned the battlefield, piecing it together. Just like I thought, my mastery of this heavenly art is still pretty trash. The Divine Lord didn't wait, lunging back into the fray with a relentless offensive. Kim Junu backflipped away, thinking to himself, all right, if it's gonna be like this, I've only got one shot. He timed the move perfectly, swapping traits and stacking 2 layers of his demonic sword technique. The guy flinched. His whole vibe shifted. Junu went back in, moving with surgical precision and adapting his stance to shut down that dark energy for good. Suddenly, it looked like he'd multiplied. He was everywhere at once, just absolutely wrecking his opponent with a barrage of hits. With every strike, his special world trait sucked up all that raw power, using it as fuel to evolve even further. The Divine General snapped and screamed, "Enough. Watch what the Heavenly Sword can really do." He went full beast mode. The true Heavenly Demon art a literal cosmos beyond the stars, a trait that never stops growing. A flash of golden light blinded Junu as it hit. The cosmic sword and my own spirit have finally become one. That massive beam of light slammed into the Divine General. He stood there, dazed, muttering, "That light is way too bright. I've never seen power like that." A second later, he collapsed to his knees and hung his head. "You win. Heavenly Sword." He signaled for the guy to stand up. "Great fight. Honestly, I picked up a few tricks from you." Junu walked over and helped the general up, thinking, no doubt about it, this fight made everything crystal clear. He realized that even with all that power, the Divine General couldn't even scratch the black barrier back in Gwanga. Jun Su ran the numbers in his head. So, if I had to rank the heavy hitters, it would look like this. He cut to the chase. "So, do we get to check out the Heavenly Demon Cave now, or what?" The general kept it brief. "Yeah." Jun Su got hyped and headed for the massive tower. Time to hit the heart of the sect, the Heavenly Demon Cave. A voice boomed through the hall. "Welcome back to the Heavenly Demon Cave, Divine General." He walked in and said, "Master, sorry for the intrusion." Then the Divine General's face went pale as a ghost. He was devastated to see the Heavenly Demon had been taken out. His master, Chen Wei, was kneeling there, totally broken. What the hell happened? "What is this?" The Divine General fell to his knees. "Heavenly Demon, you promised you were going to ascend." He choked back tears. "You said you'd wait for us in the celestial realm. Who could have done something this twisted?" Meanwhile, Jun Su was checking the scene. "The answer is right here on the floor." He analyzed the evidence with total confidence. "This mark is proof. My dad's old cult is behind this." Hearing that, Chenny lost his mind, screaming, "What? That trash demon god cult." The Divine General still looked confused, though. "But that doesn't make any sense. No way those losers could sneak in here." Junu pointed it out right away. "Well, there's one other person with a key, right?" The guy's mind went to the worst-case scenario. "No way. You think the Demon Queen is the one behind this?" Our sister Chen Wei was fuming. "That traitorous snake. We have to find that goddamn backstabber right now." The Divine General agreed. "Yeah, she dared to trash our master's body and insult the honor of our cult. For a crime like that, she pays in blood." His face twisted into a nasty snarl as he gave the order. "Get the whole demon cult to Heavenly Mountain. We're going to Brazil. That's where the Demon Queen is hiding." Just like that, Jun Su completely froze. The Demon Queen in Brazil? No way. He suddenly remembered the Saintess's words. "I was fated to die. Kidnapped by the Black Panther cult and those guys, tortured and dragged through pure hell. Is the Saintess still hunting the god's incarnation?" Poka's kneeling there, ready to be sacrificed to bring the God King to life. Late night in the city, lights everywhere. Suddenly, a voice says, "Hippie, get me Director Choi." Chisio answered fast, "Yes, Heavenly Sword, what's the move?" Junu gave the command. "I need you to buy every magic artifact you can find." The guy didn't even blink. "Just give me a number. I can track down whatever you need." He replied with a tense voice. "Probably a few hundred. I'm sending the file now. Get moving. I need to check it." Jun Su looked back, lost in thought about the world, or specifically, that achievement trait. He started crunching the numbers. "To max that thing out, I've got to collect every single public trait in this world." Jun Su made it clear this had to happen fast. Suddenly, someone burst in. "Sir, bad news. It's the Sao Paulo Grand Temple." Poker goes down, trembling in a cloud of smoke. The chief rushes over, totally panicked. "You okay, man?" he asks, sounding crushed. "Another epic fail. We couldn't wake the divine incarnation. How did we screw this up?" Suddenly, Jun Su cuts in with a shout. "He's poisoned." Poco looks up dazed. "The Heavenly Sword?" the old man asks, freaking out completely. "Poisoned? What are you yapping about?" He walks over coolly and says, "Step back. Let me look." Junu thinks, "Man, this divine body is next level. I can feel the energy through even the tiniest gap." He stops dead. Just as he suspected, the poison from that heavenly demon art is already digging its claws in. Junu sees the red flags immediately. It hasn't been long, but this junk is already deep in his system. It's some divine power, half shadow, half light, pure evil but somehow totally clean. He slowly pulls his hand away. "This isn't just poison," Junu explains. It's some martial arts move that acts like a freaking curse. The chieftain's jaw drops. A Kur? Who the hell would do this? Kim's eyes scan the room. We gotta find who did this. If they're trying to trash the awakening, they're definitely hiding somewhere close. Better start looking right now. Jun Su's eyes lock onto a target. Drop the act, loser. He knew exactly who it was. The Demon Queen. That soldier in the back starts moving. Someone gasps. It's her, the Demon Queen. Her helmet hits the floor with a loud clang. A voice echoes. That name? Some ancient god gave me that trash ages ago. I tossed that garbage out years ago. Then, she steps out of the shadows. The Heavenly Demon divine art starts glowing. 9 yin absolute meridian. Mystic ice demon art. Fistmaster. One-hit kill. Phantom shift.